So not able to get the green the first time by. Field now looking very good. As I assume we probably did not go green because of some of the drivers were further back, but 17 drivers all nose to tail. They'll work their way up under the bridge. Green flag flying. Green, green, green. Racing for race number 2 of USF 2000. And hold your phones, ladies and gentlemen, 2-3 wide. You've got to make the corner here. Everybody coming through so far. And that is how it is done. Nicely done for the drivers here. Clean through turn 1, 2, and to 3. A couple driver breakaway. Great start there for Thomas Schrag. He'll go to P1. Elliot Cox right on the gearbox. They come out of turn number 4, over to 5 for the first time. Opening lap could get hectic. That's the best opportunity to make an overtake when you're side by side with the driver. But by the end of the opening lap, I would expect we'll all be down to single file once again. Then you can go to work. Max Garcia up into the 3rd spot. Right behind him is Giafoni. Then it's Sam Corey. So again, Corey versus Garcia for a potential championship here. Again, if Garcia finishes 4th or better, it doesn't matter what Corey does. Even if he wins, it doesn't matter. And essentially, Corey has to finish in front of him first and foremost. Garcia's on the podium. He finds himself as the champion. We had a move for the lead. Elliot Cox getting by. And indeed, Cox has got by Thomas Schrag. So the Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development number 67, the Stars and Stripes, red, white, and blue, will lead the opening lap. And it doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because in talking with Elliot here throughout the second half of the season, his number one focus is he wants to win a race. Garcia's going to go to the inside there as well. Garcia makes a move to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll go to the inside of Thomas Schrag. So Garcia pushing forward. And again, talk a lot about trying to cap your season with an exclamation point. And whether or not you're the champion or not, you want to get those victories in the final weekend. We see Liam McNeely doing that in USF Juniors. He didn't win the championship, but he's 2 for 2 already. Liam McNeely looking for a sweep of the USF Juniors races when they get on the racetrack later on today. That is a 1:45 start for USF Juniors. A little scrap a little bit further back there as well between Sam Corey and Hudson Schwartz, the 2 drivers from Pabst Racing. And they run now in the 5th and 6th position. Again, Corey versus Garcia for the championship. That is Pabst Racing. So essentially, they've lined themselves up. And we'll give this opportunity here as we're working lap number 3 that Pabst Racing, shout out to them. Back-to-back Drivers' Championships, back-to-back Team Championships. They've already locked the Team Championship down in both USF Pro 2000 and USF 2000. VRD Racing locking down the USF Junior Championship as well. Field streaming across the start-finish line to start lap number 4. Garcia closing right up. There's a move a little further back. I think Corey to the inside on Giafoni as well. So move Sam Corey now up into the 4th position. I'll say this, in the final practice session, the test session we had on Thursday, all 17 cars in this USF 2000 category were separated by only 9/10 of a second. It is such a competitive field here this year. And again, you talk about a lot of the rookies that are in the program. They're not really rookies by the end of the season, are they? They've already run it 7 weekends, so they're essentially almost sophomore USF 2000 drivers, and that's why it's so tight. Even the drivers who may have been further off the pack as rookies early in the season have found so much more pace and maturity throughout the year. That said, if you look at the championship, the top 4 drivers, Garcia, Corey, Taylor, and Papasavas, all second-year drivers in the series. Oh, a little bit of a battle between a couple of Jay Howard cars there. I think that's further back. It's going to be, I believe, Argyros and Papasavas, or Papasavas and Costello as well. Yeah, that's Costello and Papasavas. Costello, yesterday's winner, currently running in the 10th position. Again, that's the battle within the battle. Joey Brienza leading the Rookie of the Year points. He has 237 points. Hudson Schwartz with 214 points. So right now it's a 23-point lead for Brienza in the Rookie of the Year battle. Brienza currently running in the 11th spot, Schwartz up in 6th. So chipping away at it with one more race to go. USF 2000 will cap off not only their championship, but our whole series as a whole at 5:45 this afternoon, final race of the day. Again, we cap off our entire weekend here on Saturday. We'll leave Indy next and IndyCar for Sunday. A couple of champions already crowned in our program. Lockie Hughes yesterday, a solid finish for Lockie, crowning the champion in the USF Pro 2000 category. He'll take that scholarship and move his way up into Indy next in 2025. Again, that scholarship so lucrative for these drivers. They're all chasing, of course, that scholarship to move up. That's the big thing about the USF Pro Championships. The juniors champion, Max Taylor, a $263,000 scholarship to run in USF 2000 next year if he elects to do that. USF 2000 championship for Max Garcia, trying to get that. That's worth over $458,000. And of course, Lockheed Hughes just won over $681,000 to move to Indy next in 2025. Good two-driver battle up front here right now as everybody kind of settling in. Early laps of this one here, 5 down, 20 still to go. A long run for these drivers here. 15 laps for the juniors, 25 laps for 2000, and 30 laps for USF Pro 2000. And up front, it's Elliott Cox and Max Garcia. Now, you wonder whether or not Garcia will put too much pressure on Cox. This is a race here. I'm sure he'd love to get the victory. It's always nice to win the championship and stand on top of the podium, but he doesn't need to win this. He's battling with Elliott Cox, a driver who is in desperate need of a victory. He wants to get that P1. He wants to get that trophy and show that he's a race winner in USF 2000. He's going to fight him tooth and nail for this. It was very similar to the battle last year in Mid-Ohio when Simon Sykes had a championship lead but was scrapping it out with Evagor's Papasavas. Papasavas wanted that win, and he wasn't giving it up. They were literally banging wheels side by side. Sykes eventually backed off of it to take second and gave him kind of a nice championship advantage. For Garcia, the last thing you want to do right now is make a move and potentially be out of this race. It's down to a two-driver battle, as I said. The simple starting of the race for Garcia will give him enough points to eliminate Max Taylor. So Taylor, of course, battling now for third. He's in the middle of that fight with Papasavas. They're only separated by 9 points. So Taylor and Papasavas going to fight it out for that third place in the championship. Papasavas currently running in the 9th spot, Taylor in 7th. So this one for third, likely going to go down to the final race of the day. Two-driver breakaway, though, as they're pulling away a little bit here. Now, this is when the driver's settling in because, again, in a long race like this, tire pressure-wise, the car's not going to get super good until midway through. If you go too high on the tire pressure to give you the platform and the grip you want early on, it's going to burn those tires up, and you're going to struggle at the end of the race. So, indeed, the cars are going to keep getting better. Fuel load, of course, gets lower and lower. The cars get lighter and faster, but, again, those tire pressures set to make sure they're coming in mid-race and through to the end of the race as well. So the drivers here doing their best with cars that aren't exactly perfect, but they're definitely going to get better. Phil, so far, so good, man. We've had, 7 laps so far at 25. A lot of good racing, a lot of good battles throughout the field. Again, I'm interested in watching Max Garcia to see what he does. Does he battle for the race win, or does he hold on to second and just walk away with that championship?
Exactly, but like you said, a great race. The start was awesome. One of the best starts we've seen this weekend. I'm hoping the rest of the series here watch what these guys did because, yeah, it's one of the better starts we've had in clean racing so far. I
guarantee you that the race steward, Charlie Kimball, was smiling ear to ear in the tower, because the bottom line is that when we talked about this in the drivers' meeting, all the racers were kind of struggling with the fact that they had to make that corner. What if I get forced off? What if the track's completely blocked? And, of course, the answer to that was if it's completely blocked, everybody has to take the cut through, so nobody's going to gain any positions. So, indeed, it was kind of fought a little bit by the drivers, but again, it's already resulted in some really clean racing, and of course, fantastic through turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. A stark contrast to what happened 2 years ago when Miles Rowe, Jace Denmark, and Michael D'Orlando were battling it out for it. And I want to say that the 2 Paps cars took each other out in all 3 races and kind of handed the championship over to Michael D'Orlando. It was a super clean start.
Exactly.
So indeed, putting lap number 8 in the books right now. Garcia still on the gearbox of Cox. They've got about 2 seconds ahead of Thomas Schrag right now. Oh, one driver had some trouble there, and he has to come back around. That was one of the Jay Howard cars who had to put the brake and then climb back over the curbing. We saw Eric Hout do that yesterday, and that is heads-up racing. We do have a driver slowing, come out of turn number 3. Can't quite pick up who that is at this point here. They're going to slow. This might bring out a full course yellow. They'll try to get into the inside of the racetrack, onto the grass. So driver off to right side of the racetrack, inside of turn number 4. Sounds like the 22 of Hudson Schwartz. So Schwartz, who was running in the 6th spot in that rookie championship battle, off the racetrack on the inside of turn 4. Unsure whether or not the driver's still there, because if he's in harm's way, They'll have to consider bringing out a full course yellow, and that would eliminate a 2.1 second lead for the front-running duo of Cox and Garcia. Yeah, full course yellow. So there you go. Double yellows waving at start finish. And that'll woe everybody up. So 8 laps of green flag racing, being told that, yeah, there's Schwartz. He was able to continue. I hate to see that. As Schwartz goes off the track. Trying to figure out which driver it was that potentially went over top of the curbing. I think that might have been G3 Argyros for Jay Howard, who couldn't get down to the apex or even close to the apex of turn 1, but had to climb back over the curbing to get essentially legally through turn number 2. So Elliot Cox is your leader, Max Garcia second, Thomas Schrag in third, Sam Corey fourth, Nicholas Giafoni in fifth spot. Max Taylor moves up to sixth, Evagoras Papasavas to seventh, Costello up to eighth, Brienza now into ninth, and 10th for Quinn Armstrong. So in the rookie race, again, Brienza sitting in the fifth spot, Hudson Schwartz in seventh, Giafoni only 4 points back. So Giafoni's 27 points behind Joey Brienza in the Rookie of the Year battle, currently running 4 spots better. Giafoni in fifth, Brienza in ninth. So a good start to this one, and indeed not even wheel-to-wheel contact. It was not an incident that brought out the yellow, something happening very potentially mechanically for Hudson Schwartz, who will pull that car to the inside exiting turn number 12. He'll go down pit lane and head to his crew to determine what happened to the race car there. After the top 3 drivers yesterday did not make the corner at the start, having to do all 3 drive-throughs, Hudson Schwartz was given the lead. He pulled out to a sizable, I want to say 4-second lead, but then just a little bobble coming through this corner here, 11 and 12, went off the racetrack out of turn 11 into the grass and spun around. That handed the lead to Michael Costello, who again, as I said, was flawless for the entire race. Right back to green flag racing, as again, Schwartz did not need any help. He was able to refire and get going, so back to green flag, and this is going to be a big opportunity here for Max Garcia to make a move around the outside of Cox. Cox going to send it deep into the corner. A couple of little lockups there. Little contact from behind. So far, drivers are doing a good job getting through the corner. And indeed, Cox sent it to the inside of turn number 1. And he had to do that to preserve the lead. That has actually put, I believe, Corey. Did Corey get by Schrag there? I don't know. That's a tough shot here to see. No, I believe Schrag's still with the spot. So Thomas Schrag still holding on to P3. Cox in the fourth position, Corey in the fourth spot. Cox out to the lead. Giafoni right there as well. Big move to the inside as Papasavas and Costello side by side. Costello made a move to the inside there over in turn number 7. Restarts another fantastic opportunity to make an overtake. It's a little bit further back. That's... I don't know who that is. That's a change rear front wing. Okay, the white front wing is Brienza in the 91. That was a replacement wing on that car for Brienza. I think he may have lost a spot. He goes down to P10 on the restart. I think Quinn Armstrong getting back by him. We'll have a look as they come by. We'll fill you in here on the top 10 as they come across the line. Lap number 11 going in the books. Cox, Garcia, Schrag, Corey, and Giafoni top 5. Taylor 6th, Papasavas 7th. Costello 8th, Brienza gets back by. Brienza goes into 9th, and Armstrong in 10th. Again, big shout out to everyone who's watching here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel, or maybe you've downloaded our mobile app and are able to watch live timing. You can watch all the live races on the app. We, of course, have The Climb, all the episodes of our documentary series, The Climb, are on there. My USF Pro Insider podcast available as well on the app. So those of you, again, tuning in from wherever you are around the country, around the world, we know we have a lot of international followers. Of course, you look at the field here, a number of Brazilian drivers part of our program. You know, Nicholas Giafoni, as we know. Lucas Fricuri. We've got drivers from Australia as well with Quinn Armstrong. Just an international field as it is every year. There's a good scrap right there between Giafoni. Is that Papasavas up there? I think Papasavas may have got back. Giafoni's got back a little bit. Yeah, Giafoni's lost a couple of spots. I think that may have been Costello's on the move again. Let's see if Costello's the driver has moved up. Taylor goes to P5. Giafoni's falling. Yeah, Taylor up to 5th. Papasavas at 6. Remember, Taylor and Papasavas, those are the 2 drivers who are battling essentially for 3rd in the championship. Shout out to Michael Costello. We had him, of course, on the pre-race show, and I'm telling you, when you get that first victory, there's that confidence there. And he even said it on the podium yesterday. If you watched our championship celebrations at Victory Lane after his win yesterday, talked about the fact that he needed that to remind himself of the talent that he has, and the fact that he can get the job done. When you struggle with some races and you're not getting the results you want, especially when you're a young driver at this level, you start kind of to doubt yourself a little bit. In a victory like that, you just put all that confidence back that you lost throughout the season. Costello got off to a great start of the year, had a fantastic battle in the opening race at St. Petersburg, great scrap for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, but just had some issues, had some bad luck throughout the season. But fantastic to see Costello win yesterday, and then of course be up on the wheel here today as well, getting by Giaffoni, move his way into, I believe, 7th. Elliot Cox looking for that first win. I guarantee there's a bunch of people back at Whiteland Raceway Park, the karting facility in Whiteland, Indiana, and the MPG Motorsports Pro Shop, watching this on the big screen. Elliot Cox, who cut his teeth racing at Whiteland, trying to win that first USF 2000 race. And I know Sarah Fisher's watching it as well, for sure. I saw that she had posted on social that she had a couple of different races up on the laptops yesterday watching from home. So I'm sure Sarah Fisher, the Sarah Fisher from Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development, on pins and needles right now. She might not even be sitting down. She's probably standing up pacing in the office watching this one here. But indeed, Cox leading the way right now, but we're just past the halfway point. 13 laps down, 12 to go. Cox coming in here in the 6th place in points. Listen, he's not out of finishing 5th either. Brienz is in front of him, but only by 9 points. It's an opportunity for Elliot Cox to potentially move his way up into 5th spot in the points championship as well. The win first and foremost. You want to get that victory at the end of the season, right? But a top 5 says a lot when you want to move forward into USF Pro. He's also got the most laps led right now, I believe, because we got to lap 14. Max Taylor just stole away the fast lap, but we're going to see another fast lap before this is all said and done. 5-driver breakaway: Cox, Garcia, Schrag, Corey, and Taylor. Bobby, pretty solid start to the race here. First half, we had that one little stoppage for an issue with Hudson Schwartz. But man, otherwise we've had some great racing out of these young drivers.
We really have, and as you said, it only took a few laps for them to kind of get strung out, nose to tail. But you're right, these guys are making battles, and they are picking off positions. When they get a couple good runs, a couple good corners, now we got a battle for second place.
Yeah.
It looks like shaping up. So again, all it takes is a couple good corners, and you're right on the tail of the guy in front of you, and a very good chance to make a pass and improve your standing.
And listen, one of the things about these cars as well, we haven't talked a lot about the aerodynamics. There's only about 170 pounds of aerodynamic downforce. That was the design. There is a little bit of aero push. You do get that when you're drafted up behind someone, rolling into a fast corner. You lose a bit of aero on that front wing. But enough of the draft coming out of turn number 12 here all the way down to turn 1. The draft is significant. Thomas Schrag there in that number 2 machine for VRD Racing, able to race this weekend with the help of the Team USA Scholarship, trying to get the big run. Right behind Garcia. This could be big for Cox. Not quite enough for Thomas Schrag. Right there as they're climbing all over, just cutting that corner in turn number 1. Little fight further back. Giaffoni. Yeah, Giaffoni tried to the inside of Papasavas, but couldn't make it work. Big look, though. Thomas Schrag, who had a good run here last year, but the bad luck strikes him. He's probably one of the unluckiest drivers I've seen throughout the year. Man, just the stuff that has happened to him. Literally was having a fantastic run at Mid-Ohio. The shock cover came off the car and got stuck. Didn't just take off. It got stuck in the rear wing, essentially a parachute, and he just fell backwards after that. So, indeed, bad luck for Thomas. Looking for a good one. Here he comes here. Look at this. Garcia's trying to take him to the inside of the racetrack. Oh, I don't know if the race control's going to be thrilled with that one, as Garcia did not want to give it up for Schrag, and that is allowing Corey and Taylor to close back up a little bit. Oh, big slider further back there as well. Oh, man, that was Quinn Armstrong, I think. That turn 10, 11, 12 combination is so hectic. You throw it into turn number 10, you kind of hang it all on the edge coming through 11 and 12. Full second lead for Elliot Cox last time by. Garcia and Schrag gloves are off on this one here. We still have another race to go. And you almost think Garcia's got to start thinking about championship as well. Although the guys behind him in second and third in the title are back there now running in fourth and fifth. But the last thing Garcia wants is to get collected in an incident. He'd still be in a fantastic spot to clinch it later on today, but you never know what happens, as we said before. Fast lap of the race right now, Papasavas. Remember, Papasavas is trying to see if he can't outgun Taylor for third place in points. So many different storylines in terms of the championship here with 2 races to go. This one and one more. And we're back on track at 5:45 this afternoon. If you're enjoying the race here, I'll say this. Come and meet the drivers. We have our autograph sessions going on throughout the day, so please come on and meet us over there. On the backside of the straightaway, right by the pedestrian bridge on the exit turn number 12. We'll be having our autograph session there today. Noontime, there it is. Yeah, noon to 12:30 for USF Pro and USF 2000, and 12:40 for USF Juniors. So we're going to be there for about an hour between 12 and noon. So come on out and meet our drivers. They've got all their hero cards there, so if you got your young kids that want to get the hero cards, we did have one driver cut the course there, wasn't able to make the corner, so that's going to be a drive-through penalty. I was looking at down, of course I look back up and the drivers come off. We'll see which driver does have to pull that drive-through. 17 laps down, 8 to go for USF 2000. And again, we look forward to our next races as well. 1:45 scheduled start time for USF Juniors. We'll go back to back with the final race of the season for USF Juniors and the final race of the season for USF Pro 2000. Drivers' champions already decided. Team championships already decided. It's all for honor at that point there in the final races as drivers look to, again, cap off their season in style. Garcia able to pull away a little bit there. Drag was there, tried to make a move coming down the back straightaway at one point, but he's fallen back a bit. There's a couple of drivers battling it out there. Brady Gold and Lucas Fricuri, the D-Force drivers, that's 11th and 12th. Right behind them as well, Ayrton Hout. So remember, Ayrton Hout trying to see if he can't get himself back into the top 10 in the points. He's behind Quinn Armstrong by only 5 points. Armstrong runs 9th, Hout back in 13th. He'll have to have a better run in race number 3. Max Garcia now with the fastest lap. That's big for him. Bonus point there as well. Again, all Garcia has to do is finish in the top 4. If he's on the podium, he's clinched the championship. That would be our final championship. Already locked and loaded. As I said before, Lockie Hughes already our champion in USF Pro 2000. Max Taylor winning in USF Juniors. Taylor going to sit out the Juniors race to focus here on USF 2000. I'll tell you, this is the thing. Running double duty all weekend long, back and forth out of these cars, it is not easy. And I know that talking to the team, Max was pretty worn out yesterday. And again, yesterday was not an easy day. When you're racing in those rain conditions, you're soaked. Again, we talked about the fact that the rain's in there, your hands are freezing, the gloves are soaked. And I think he's like, you know what, I've got this USF Juniors Championship block. I'm going to focus on USF 2000 today.
Exactly, he's making the right move.
So indeed, coming into the final couple of laps here now. 6 to go. Elliot Cox out to that solid advantage. And that has gone away. Remember, he had a full second a couple laps ago, but that was because Schrag was putting all that pressure on Garcia. Garcia right back on him. It was 0.3 of a second at the line. Not even a car length when they came into turn number 1 with the draft. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4th. And that's a good run here right now for Max Taylor. Evagor's Papasavas has been able to get by Sam Corey. Not sure what's happened to Sam. He's fallen back a little bit here. Corey with about I think it's a 17-point lead on Taylor for P2 in the championship. So he wants to keep getting up on the wheel. Whatever he does, he doesn't want to lose second in the title. Because it could come down again. This is still Corey, Taylor, and Papasavas for second and third in the championship. Top 3 drivers get honored at the championship celebration tomorrow evening. Oh, big wide run there for the number 2 of Schrag. Did not get the car turned around. Maybe a little bit corner bump there and a wide out the exit. Had to chase the car a little bit out to the wall. Top 10 has Cox as the leader. They're clean and green through turns 1 and 2. Garcia second, Schrag third, Taylor fourth, Papasavas fifth, Corey sixth. 2.5 seconds back to Michael Costello in 7th, Giafoni 8th, Armstrong 9th, and Brienza 10th. So your rookie drivers in that Rookie of the Year battle, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th right now. Brienza, who leads the way, tail of that group. But the driver who's closest to Brienza in the points is Schwartz. He's the driver who went out on lap number 8 with the mechanical. So again, the gap between Joey Brienza with 237 and Nicholas Giaffoni with 210, 27 points. Giaffoni standing to gain a few here on Brienza. Will all come down to race 3 this afternoon to see who stands up on top of the stage and celebration tomorrow evening. Those Rookie of the Year honors. Top 3 still essentially nose to tail. Thomas Schrag recovering from that little miscue on lap number 19. They're separated by a couple of tenths of a second coming across the line. Close right back up under braking, the accordion effect, right back in there. Max Taylor up on the wheel. Again, he's ahead of Papasavas, he's ahead of Corey. So he's going to stretch on Papasavas, he's going to close on Corey a little bit in that battle for P2 in the championship. You look at that group up front right now, you think, those drivers all very likely aiming at USF Pro 2000 next year. Cox, of course, Garcia potentially with the championship and the scholarship. Schrag would want to move up his second year running in this program. He hasn't really had 2 full years yet, but Schrag could always come back to 2000, but I'm sure he would love to get the pro. Papasavas, of course, Corey, these drivers thinking about going to pro. I think Costello's already planned on coming back for USF 2000 next year, so put little asterisks on Costello as a driver they're going to be watching next year, potentially running for a championship. We know Jay Howard can get the job done. They have in the past. Christian Rasmussen. We know that Papasavas, multi-time race winner of the season now, or in the last couple of years as well for Jay Howard. Move to the inside there for Cox. He's starting to get a bit defensive. Goes all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Coming around the outside, side by side into the corner. They are side by side at a turn number 2. They don't want to give it up through 3. Garcia going for the race win. Cox will send it back down the inside. No, he gets the spot. Wow, Garcia only needs to finish 4th to win the championship, and he's going for the race win. 22 of Schwartz repaired and back out onto the racetrack. His teammates go up front, elbows up. Cox locking the right front. He really wants that victory, as we said. Fought it as much as he possibly could coming through turn number 2. They were side by side through 2, essentially side by side through 3. But Garcia able to take the spot finally as they got over to turn number 4. Now, everybody else coming up to go after Elliot Cox. Thomas Schrag looks to the inside at turn number 10, not enough. The key is here. Did Cox maybe cook the tires a little bit? Pushing so hard out front. Oh no, he has a huge run. Out of the corner, Garcia pitched right down to the wall. Watch for the move. You can't move in defense. That's one of the things you can do. You can't move in defense. I got to think Cox will send it here around the outside. He doesn't. I'm surprised he didn't send her a little bit deeper. But again, you can't risk not making the corner. You can't blow the corner here because you've overcooked it. Into the brakes of turn number 1. 2 laps to go. Max Taylor now closing up onto his teammate Thomas Schrag. The VRD drivers run in 3rd and 4th. For a driver like Elliot Cox, when you've been so close to getting that victory, you've led the majority of the laps. You don't want to see it slip away. But again, remember I said exclamation point? If Garcia comes here with a victory to win the championship, that's the exclamation point, the ultimate exclamation point. Win the championship with a victory. Pabst Racing, as I said, already locked as the driver's champion, or as a team champion, not really locked in as driver's champion, but it will happen here if Cox doesn't have anything here in the last lap. He's got to make a move here. He needs a big run at turn number 12. Decent little advantage for Garcia. White flag at start-finish from Aaron Likens. There it is. And he is not close enough. Big wide run through the corner as well. Garcia doing the full run. Schrag defends a bit, covers off the bottom from Taylor. But Max Garcia, big start to the season, won the first 3 races. From there, for Max, really it's been more about the super consistency that he's been able to run. Constantly in the top 5, so many podium results, even in the stretch run here, where he was just banging off good top fives, good results. A consistent season pays off. Remember last year, Pabst Racing winning their first Drivers' Championship in USF 2000. Simon Sykes delivering that title. Do they go back-to-back? They've already gone back-to-back with the team championship. Elliott Cox not close enough even to send it into turn number 10. A solid advantage for Max Garcia. He's got one more race to cruise around here this afternoon, but he'll do so as the champion of the series out of turn number 12. A year's worth of work pays off here. He'll head to the wall. The Pabst Racing crew is there, and the winner and 2024 champion in USF 2000 is Max Garcia. The Pabst Racing driver putting the exclamation point on a super clean season, second year in USF 2000, and he'll walk away as the champion. The scholarship worth over $458,000 for Max Garcia to make the move to USF Pro 2000 in 2025. And I guarantee you it will be in a black Pabst machine, because that team is stout. So again, fantastic run for Max Garcia. The margin of victory, 0.625 seconds. Elliott Cox so close, comes home in second. Thomas Schrag holding off his teammate Max Taylor for third. Evagoras Papasavas in fifth, and that's truly in this championship. Corey was second, Taylor third, Papasavas fourth. So Papasavas closes on Corey, Taylor closes on Corey, and Taylor pulls away from Papasavas a little bit, ever so slightly. The battle for second, third, and fourth is not done in this championship chase, although the title winner now decided. Michael Costello coming back after that win yesterday into a P7 here today. Remember, he is working his way into the championship as well. He's ninth right now in the points. He finishes in front of Nicholas Giaffoni, who's just ahead of him in the standings. Quinn Armstrong in the ninth spot. Joey Brienza in 10th. Remember, Brienza, Giaffoni, Costello, all in that rookie championship battle. I put Armstrong in there as well, but he's, I think, far enough back. But again, there's the remainder of the field. Lucas Facuri coming home in 11th. He and Brady Golem went at it throughout the race. Carson Eder improves from 17th up into 13th. Ayrton Hauk 14th. Maxwell Jameson, G3 Argyros. And once again, Hudson Schwartz was able to get back out onto the racetrack to knock out 4 more laps. Fast lap of the race laid down by Thomas Schrag. And I only say that because that may put him back on the pole position again. We'll see how that all plays out. But nonetheless, the drivers have worked their way here into pit lane. And indeed, Max Garcia, the champion here for USF 2000. A strong season for that young driver, coming away with a title. Here he is here, bringing that number 24 machine in. And I'll tell you, this is an emotional kid here right now. When we talked first about his win at St. Petersburg, he broke down a little bit in the interview of that first victory. Again, he wears his emotions on his sleeves, and this is what you fight for. And you can see it. He's going to take a moment in the cockpit as his crew comes in. There's his engineer, Burke Harrison, who won last year with Simon Sykes. Crew working their way up there as well. Again, all these drivers, this is what they work for. I've had the privilege of calling Max's races back when he was first in the cadet karting category. I think he was 7 years of age, running down in Homestead, Florida. And he became one of the top drivers in cadet racing, one of the top junior drivers before moving here into the USF Pro Championships. And again, like I said, at the end of the season here, you think about the stress that these young drivers go through. We talk about them being 14 to 24 years of age, and they're young, and they're dealing with the stress of, realizing that this is the career that they want and the success that you have to have for that career to continue. So again, the emotions continuing to come out here for Max Garcia, the USF 2000 champion for 2024, taking the opportunity to spend some time with all the members of the Pabst Racing crew. And again, remember, with the success of Garcia and the rest of their drivers, Schwartz and Corey, they have won the team championship as well. So back-to-back drivers championships for Pabst Racing, back-to-back team championships for the program as well. Huge victory there. Max Garcia, Elliott Cox, and Thomas Schrag will be the drivers who will talk with in Victory Circle. We'll, of course, wrap that up as well. One additional award, and that'll be the championship trophy for Max Garcia. I'm going to pass it back over to Bobby and Phil here. They'll take care of some wrapping up while I head down to Victory Circle to talk with Max Garcia.
Bobby, what a great race.
Oh, my gosh, what a great race. And
best one of the weekend so far.
So far, absolutely, it is the best one of the weekend. We have, seen a lot of action, but that was great. Lots of true skill, lots of drivers able to, draft, race, make passes, and that was a blast to see.
Start of the race was perfect. We had a restart later on. It turned out to be great. And just great close racing, and with Max Garcia winning the championship, that'll be a great interview coming up.
Oh, I'm excited, and Rob's on his way down to Victory Circle right now. Got a trophy, got some champagne, if they're over 21.
They're not. Most of them are.
Fair enough. But what a great race, and what a great way to kick off the first race of our Saturday schedule. And we got 3 more of those to go. Indy next up on course next for their practice, and they'll do qualifying later this afternoon. But man, I'm fired up, and it's fantastic to see. And that was a great race right there, as you said. Max Garcia, Elliott Cox, Thomas Schrag put on one heck of a show for the fans out there. And they'll be back on track later when they have their third and final race of the weekend. But man, what a great first race.
It has been great so far. Following the podium interviews at 11:20 is going to be Indy next, presented by Firestone Practice number 2. They had a great practice yesterday, so it's just nonstop here today.
It is nonstop here today, and I'm as a race fan, you can't be more hyped than you and I already are. But drivers making their way over to Victory Circle with their teams, and they get a chance to celebrate with their engineers. And it's funny, a lot of the teams are coming, but you see some of the teams have to drive their equipment back to the paddock on the east end, and that they'll be, they'll celebrate later as a group. But what a great feeling for those guys.
And we have a great view right where we're at, right here at the end of pit road. We just watched Max Garcia go by and a couple of other drivers there, and like Rob was saying, apparently he carries his emotions on his sleeves.
Which is so awesome.
It is awesome. A young driver and got a great future coming, obviously.
And we are super excited to hear from, those guys coming up here in a second. I know they're getting set up down there in Victory Circle, and we'll throw it down to Rob Howden in just 1 second. But got to give a shout out. We talk about kids and engineers. A friend of mine, Sean, has a group of students here from BASE. It's the Beaverton Academy of Science and Engineering.
Is that their bus?
No, it's not their bus, but PNC is hosting them, so they're up in the suite today. So that's great to get students involved with engineering, math. You want to be in the STEM fields.
Nice.
And we see engineers up and down the pit lane, men and women who are champions of STEM, and that's so great that these kids have a chance to be out here this weekend at PIR, get to see technology, get to see engineering and math in full view and full work, and you can make careers out of doing things in engineering and math, and it's really, really fantastic to see that here.
Awesome. What a beautiful day for motorsports.
It's a fantastic day. And yes, the Beaverton School District bus that we saw, it was not for fans. It was actually dropping staff off at different places. So let's head down to Victory Circle. Rob Howden, take it away. Crown your champion.
Bobby, thank you so much. Indeed, we have a lot of emotion down here in Victory Lane right now. Not surprising, drivers trying to get that first win, some coming away with a championship as well. But again, a great way to continue and really start the final day for us here at the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Portland. 3 trophies up here for those drivers. Let's get started and bring them up after a great race. All these drivers in USF 2000 will be back on the racetrack at 5 o'clock this afternoon. But finishing today, folks, in third spot for VRD Racing, Thomas Schrag. Good run for Thomas. Watch for him to fight his way back again in race number 3. Again, with the championship all gone, everybody essentially just going after it. Thomas finishing in the third spot today. Oh, so close for this driver in Indianapolis, looking for that first win, but a great run for this driver. Finishing in second spot for Sarah Fisher-Hartman, Racing Development. A round of applause for Elliott Cox. He'll be digging in to come back after it here in race number 3 this afternoon. But, of course, always good, as I said, to put the exclamation point on the end of a championship season. You want to do it in style, and that's what this driver here did. Instead of holding back, he went for the race win. So call it a victory to lock the championship. Your USF 2000 champion will celebrate him again in a couple of seconds. But the winner today for Pabst Racing, Max Garcia. Max, you just hop up here right now. We'll just get this done. You now come and talk in a couple of seconds when we bring the championship trophy up. Give him a chance to celebrate this one here. Then we'll have the interview for the title as well. I'll tell you, folks, and this is it. When you come to an event like this and you get to see the NTT IndyCar Series drivers, this is where the IndyCar guys started, and this is the future of IndyCar right here. These three drivers are the ones you're going to see racing here in IndyCar in Portland in future years. Thomas Schrag, Elliott Cox, and, of course, Max Garcia with the victory. We'll bring that champagne out. Still 3 more races on the docket for you here. Juniors and USF Pro 2000. Those championships already locked and loaded. But they, of course, will be racing here. And, of course, at the very end of the day, USF 2000 to cap things off. Guys, I know you have one more race still to go, so take care of those race suits. But grab that champagne. Let's celebrate you guys making your way to the podium here. Guys, grip it and rip it. Race number 2. Championship locked and loaded. Garcia, Cox, and Schrag making it to the podium in race number 2. Max Garcia, you hang out up there. I'll come and chat with you in a second. We'll give the opportunity for Elliott and Thomas to exit the stage because the championship trophy is waiting. Max, you hop down here first. I'm not that tall. Come over here to the middle so we get a good shot of this. So, about 6 months ago, you and I talked when you won the first race of the season at St. Petersburg, and you knew how big that was to come out of the gate strong. Just tell me the emotion right now of getting the job done and winning the championship for Pabst Racing.
It's amazing. Just to get this win is amazing. It's been a pretty long time since the last one at Indy GP, but it just feels great to end it off with a win, and now we can just let her rip in the last one.
All you needed to do was finish 4th and you would have been the champion. You could have stayed behind Cox, but you were going for the win, right? That exclamation point. Was that the mindset? I need to win this, so I win it in style?
I didn't really care if I ran 2nd, 3rd, just to win the championship, but I saw the opportunity, I took it.
Who do you want to thank today?
Everyone at Pabst Racing, Bell, OMP, my family, and Burke for making my car quick all year.
Danny Anderson, can you do me a favor? Let's bring this trophy up. Like I said, folks, a bunch of wins at the start of the season, consistency through the remainder of the program. He wins here in Portland. The way to get it done, the exclamation point on the end of a championship season. We've crowned 2 champions yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause? Your USF 2000 champion for 2024 from Pabst Racing, Max Garcia! There it is, up in the air. Scholarship to move to USF Pro 2000 in 2025 and to follow in the footsteps of so many fantastic drivers who have come from USF 2000 all the way to the NTT IndyCar Series. As I said, folks, 3 more races still on the docket. I'm sure Pabst Racing will be rolling up here for some photos as well. Augie Pabst and the whole crew. Not only are they driver champions, but for the 2nd straight year, Pabst Racing team champions of USF 2000. A tremendous run and a tremendous job by this crew throughout the season. And always good to see them come onto the podium, celebrate with each other. The emotions, of course, of getting a title. And again, more racing to come. 3 more events on the docket for the day. All 3 of our series with 1 more race. We'll be back in the afternoon with USF Juniors and USF Pro 2000 back-to-back. And, of course, as I said, we'll cap off the action for the day. About 5 o'clock this afternoon, USF 2000 will be back out for race number 3. And if you're not here trackside enjoying this action, you're home watching on the YouTube channel. We do hope you appreciate and enjoy the coverage. Thank you so much, folks, for joining in and watching the broadcast here this morning. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.